Hey guys, and welcome to another Scotland episode. In this video we are in the Isle of Lewis and Harris. We arrived last night on the ferry from North Uist and the scenery is spectacular. Fun fact, around 50% of people still speak Gaelic in the Outer Hebrides. Before heading north to the islands of Lewis and Harris, we went south to check out the tiny island of Eriskay, as there was great public facilities at the ferry port, including nice showers, internet, power, and we were able to fill up our water tanks. Eriskay is only 3 miles long and 1 mile wide and has a population of just 140. It lies between South Uist and Barra and is connected to South Uist by a causeway which opened in 2001. We went for a nice walk on the beach and found a dead dolphin. Poor guy. We even saw a black rabbit and bumped into a herd of wild horses whilst driving around the island. The wildlife in the Outer Hebrides is amazing. After topping up the tanks in Eriskay, we drove north through the waterlogged landscape of the Uist Islands to get the ferry to Lewis and Harris, the largest island in the Outer Hebrides at 60 miles long and 20 miles wide with a population of over 20,000. With 30 peaks over 1,000 foot and stunning empty beaches, we had 3 days to explore Lewis and Harris before heading back to the mainland. Sheep on the beach! The forecast looked good for the following days. We spent the first day checking out some potential kite spots. I found this huge inlet near one of the island's most iconic beaches called Luscantire. We found a nice spot to camp for the night, ready to seize the day ahead. My wife and I decided to make the most of her maternity leave and rent a motorhome to road trip around Scotland and the Outer Hebrides with our 6-month-old baby and 2 dogs. The plan was to hike, kite, wing and circumnavigate islands whilst exploring Scotland's epic scenery. I'm about to kiteboard out to an island called Tanseray. I was thinking about kiting round, but it's been raining all day and only just cleared and it's like 5 o'clock already, so don't want to run that kind of risk at this late in the day. But the island's super cool. It was actually inhabited up until the 70s and featured in a famous TV show called Castaway 2000, which Ben Fogle did, where 32 people lived on the island for a whole year and developed a settlement. So super cool. The scenery is amazing. We came over on the ferry from North Uist last night and I just need to get out on the water. I'm gonna kite out to some epic looking beach and just have fun. I feel like I scratched an itch with the last circumnavigation, so just gonna enjoy this one. This one's for the soul. Let's go. Grabbed the code, which was also works good. Woohoo! I was gonna go on the island, but I just got the heebie-jeebies. The wind's gone super fluky up close, and there's huge waves, so don't really fancy risking it. I think I'm gonna head back to the beach and have some fun rather than be out here quaking in my boots all the time. Sometimes it's about having fun as well. Woo! Woo! It felt so good to get out on the water. I didn't land on Santoy Island. I got close, but the wind got super fluky near the beach I was going to come in at. It was really offshore, and there were some quite big waves, so didn't fancy it today. But I had a sick session. It was great to do a few tacks and jives, and now I'm going to go for a little self-land on the beach. What do you reckon? Can I do it?
After an epic few days exploring the south of Lewis and Harris, we drove north through the breathtaking mountains. We've seen so many dramatic landscapes on this trip already. All the islands are very different. We stopped off to see the Callanish stones. These extraordinary, huge stones were erected over 5,000 years ago. They even predate Stonehenge. Nobody knows why these stones were erected in this way, but one theory is that they were some kind of astronomical observatory. After checking out the stones, we drove north to the most northern point in the Outer Hebrides, the Butt of Lewis. I can only imagine some of the storms this place has seen. The Butt of Lewis lighthouse was built by the famous lighthouse builder David Stevenson in 1862. The light was most likely fueled by fish oil in the beginning. This was then replaced by a paraffin burner in 1869 and finally by electricity in 1976. It was operated by keepers who lived at the station with their families, but the fog signal was discontinued in 1995 and the light was automated in 1998. It is now remotely monitored from Edinburgh.
What up, guys? Welcome to van life.
What up?
Would you mind? So we've spent the last couple of days exploring Lewis and Harris. Had an epic kite session heading out to Stornoway Island. The waves yesterday were huge. It was amazing to see just how big they were, and yeah, we drove right up to the north of the island to the Butt of Lewis, and there's this amazing lighthouse on the end. And today we've driven to Stornoway, which is the main town on the island, and stumbled across this cool kite spot. Actually, we've come here to get the ferry tomorrow morning, but luckily it's windy and I found a sick spot, so let's go kiting. The wind's blowing straight over this causeway and I'm going kiting. It's kind of scary going out in offshore, really strong winds by yourself, but yeah, I think this is an amazing spot, and there's even a little bit of swell for a few kickers. Ooh, it feels pretty windy. It's hard to know what the wind's going to be like because the bank's probably 10 meters high and the tide's really low, but there's some great little kickers. Just get what you don't want. Don't try this at home, kids. Feels good.
kite fell out the sky as I landed and a line wrapped around the end of the bar. This freak occurrence is very rare, but luckily I didn't get hurt and I managed to unwrap the line from the bar before it looped again.
Holy schmoly! That was so scary! That's exactly what you don't want to happen on an offshore spot by yourself in the middle of nowhere, is to get a death wrap. Wow! I had a line around the end of the bar and the kite was looping. Luckily, managed to get it off quickly before I got dragged out to sea. Woo! I think I'm going to take it easy for the rest of the session. So I ran out of battery yesterday on the GoPro, but ended up having a really fun session. Stayed out for like another hour. Felt like I got a lot more dialed in on the code after that super scary suicide loop, which was yeah, not what you want to happen when you're kiting on your own. But yeah, we are now on the ferry from Lewis back to the mainland, and that is the end of our Outer Hebrides part of this adventure. It was truly amazing, such epic scenery, really cool family time in the van and the dogs, loads of nice walks. Stoked with the sessions I have. Gutted I didn't get around a couple more islands, but I got a taste of what it's like, and I'll definitely be back 100%. If I had a little bit more time to wait for the right conditions and explore further, these islands are so untouched and they have so much potential for kiting, so I couldn't recommend a trip here more really if you want to come and explore some of the Outer Hebrides and some parts of the UK, which it's been windy every day and I've seen kite spot after kite spot, so definitely come check it. But this is by no means the end of our adventure. We are only halfway through. Next up is the North Coast 500, so we're going to spend the next 2 weeks driving around the north of Scotland, so see you in the next video.